I know a lot of tips and tricks. I think I know nearly every champion interaction. We'll see. We'll see if I know them all.
Let's start off the video with the tip at the center point of the thumbnail. Now on Zoe, if you ult forward somewhere and then cast your E at the very last second, just before you get pulled back, your E will get cast from the location you got pulled back to, but it will still have the range that you would have had when you casted your R go forward, which allows you to throw some super long range bubbles. The bubble can be made even longer and the trick more consistent though by using your protobelt just at the end of your R in order to extend its range.
I didn't really know this now.
By far the coolest use of this trick though is by using your ult to place yourself next to a wall.
What the fuck? When
you snap back, the game will think that you're still standing next to a wall and throwing your E.
Okay, this one I didn't know.
Even though you're not.
Okay, already the first one I didn't know.
Long range bubbles that just shouldn't be
what the
possible
fuck?
without the use of a wall. On Alistar, your Hex Flash animation is really obvious. But you can disguise the animation by using your passive. After 7 nearby minions have died, Alistar will roar, healing himself and teammates. This roar animation plays and overrides Hex Flash. So when the 7th minion is about to die in the lane, you can activate Hex Flash, then your passive will proc, disguising the animation of your Hex Flash, allowing you to essentially Hex Flash into your opponent's face without them even knowing. On Echo, his W is pretty simple.
I didn't know that one either.
You place it on the ground.
Did not know that one either. Not sure if it's that useful, because you still see the Hex Flash thing. Good morning, Robin. But I didn't know it. I didn't know it. That's crazy.
You walk into it, it detonates, giving him a shield and stunning enemies inside.
Okay, if it's gonna be if you ulti, you get the W.
You don't actually have to stand in the W yourself.
This one I know. This one I know.
The path of your clone goes through your W, and you activate your ultimate, your W will detonate, even if you yourself haven't walked into it, because technically you ulted through it. Another awesome thing to note on Echo is that Protobelt is an auto attack reset, which is incredibly important on Echo, as it allows him to much more quickly get the 3 hits required to proc his passive and get the bonus damage from it.
I did not know that Protobelt was an auto attack reset.
This type of video, I showed you my favorite Lee Sin combo. Well, I changed my mind. I have a new favorite Lee combo now. Normally, when you fly through the air using your Q, you can't cast your E or your R.
This one I know.
You use your W to a teammate, and then activate your Q while mid-air before your W connects.
Yeah, this one I know.
For some reason, you gain the ability to use spells while flying through the air with your Q again.
Yep.
Allowing you to do the most insane drive-by insect kick that you have ever seen. Just look at this combo. Isn't it glorious?
It's very satisfying.
The tip that I gave you from last video is that on Talia, you don't have to wait to dismount your ultimate to cast spells. You can use them while on the wall. But did you know that if you ult directly at an enemy, the ultimate hitting that enemy will displace them? If you combine this with the
with the E, it's so disgusting. This
can actually knock somebody with your ultimate.
It's so disgusting.
While you are riding on it, which stuns the enemy and sets you up perfectly for a follow-up flip with W on that displacement. Oh, and that displacement works for Yasuo ult as well. What's annoying about Talia's ultimate, though, is that whenever you're in combat, you lose the ability to activate it for a few seconds.
He's going to talk about skilling out.
Lockout doesn't trigger unless you've actually skilled the ability, which means you should
I know this one as well.
Into it when you get level 6. Instead, you can skill your ultimate mid-fight and just use it to get away. Or if you have a Yasuo on your team, well, it can work in a pinch. Now for a tip that works as a bit of a multi-tool for a few champions. Many channeled abilities in the game can be cancelled early by just pressing recall. Most notably, this can be used by Pyke and Twitch with their stealth, and Poppy when casting her ultimate.
I mean, for Poppy it makes sense.
I find this one to be useful, as when you sneak into a lane bush with your W, you can just cancel the W, so your opponents don't get notified that you're nearby when they walk up. Bursting spell shields suck.
That's smart.
Especially in Silence, since they'll block your ultimate when you crash into an enemy.
Wait, he's gonna talk about the W. Yeah.
Sion can use his W while in his ultimate. So if you ult towards an enemy,
I know this one.
Your W shield just before you hit your target, your W will hit them, breaking the spell shield before your ultimate hits, meaning that you get the knockup.
Balls uses this one perma.
It kind of just breaks the game. On Alawi, when you cast your Q, it uses mana, but not instantly. Her Q doesn't actually take the mana away from you until after the spell finishes casting, which means if you only have enough mana to cast one spell, you can use Alawi's Q, then quickly cast W before the Q completes.
What? That's so jank.
W, since your Q hasn't taken mana away from you yet. And
I did not know that.
Started, it'll finish as well. This effectively allows you to consume more mana than what you actually have, and cast 2 spells when you should only have enough mana to afford to cast 1. I would be shocked if there aren't more champions in the game where this is possible. I can't think of any, but if you know of any, please let me know in the comments. I'm so curious to find out more. In my last video, I explained that on Fiora, her passive has 2 possible sides that it can spawn on that it alternates between. One side being down and to the left, and the other side being up or to the right. To expand upon this further, the first vital of the game will always spawn on either the left or the bottom side of your opponent.
Okay.
If you're playing on blue team on the left side of the map, this is great. But if you're playing on red team, this is a little bit suboptimal because it's spawning on the wrong side of your lane opponent when you get to lane. So Fiora one tricks, when playing on red team, will try to scout for their opponent level 1 in order to get into range for a vital to spawn, which will spawn on the left or bottom side of the opponent. Now, since that vital spawned, and the vitals alternate between spawns, that means that the next vital, when you get to lane, will either spawn on the right or to the top of your opponent, which makes it much easier to proc level 1, since when you get to lane, that's the side of your opponent that you'll be standing on.
Makes sense.
At least your spider form Q works as a gap closer, making you jump slightly forward towards your target. The secret tech is that if you Q a creep and quickly cast Smite on the creep before
this one I know.
It works as a gap closer, but your Q doesn't go on cooldown because the minion died to your Smite before your Q could hit, which just allows you to close the distance to a fleeing target by queuing to a minion. On Swain, you can cast
That's a good one.
You are dead. Well, at least it looks like that anyway. You have to cast it before you die, of course, but the cast time is long and it doesn't get interrupted by death like a lot of other abilities.
That's fucking weird.
So it does look pretty funny when a dead body fights back and avenges itself. Now for everyone's favorite champion, Yuumi. On Yuumi, when sitting on an ally, you actually sit on the side of your ally that is closest to your team's fountain. Why does this matter? Well, Yuumi, when dismounting an ally, can jump over most walls. But most walls can only be jumped over when you are traveling in the direction of your fountain. Since that's the side of your teammate that you're sitting on, you'll get more distanced.
This is great for me. I love Yuumi.
A trick that's gained some popularity is that on Gangplank, you can store Sheen procs in your barrels. Placing a barrel procs your Sheen. If you auto-attack a barrel with Sheen up, and without detonating it, it will actually store the damage of Sheen in that barrel.
What?
Now when you detonate the barrel, it will add the Sheen damage on top, even if you didn't have Sheen when you detonated it. Using this, you can spawn a barrel and auto-attack it to store the Sheen proc. Then a few seconds later, when Sheen is back up, you can take a trade, where you Q your opponent to proc Sheen on them, while also auto-attacking the barrel without Sheen, but proccing the old Sheen proc that you stored, giving you 2 Sheen procs in one instant trade.
I had no idea about this.
Next up on Pantheon, when using your Empower W, you will do 3 auto-attacks afterwards, which gives you 3 out of 5 stacks for your passive. But did you know that if you time an auto-attack perfectly before you use your W, the auto-attack will finish after your W, giving you an additional stack of your passive after W, leaving you with 4 out of 5 stacks instead of 3. This works in a very similar way to the Akali trick we saw earlier in the video, where the auto-attack damage is applied slightly later than you'd expect. Either way, this trick is actually incredibly consistent to do with some practice, and it's incredibly useful to do, as with your Q, you can instantly get 5 stacks of your passive, allowing you to jump in and instantly empower yourself with 5 stacks again so that you get your E up with no downtime. Now let's finish this one off with a mechanic that I am almost certain you would be hearing for the first time.
Okay, let's see.
You can insect kick people into your team by using your E combined with your W. Essentially, you cast your W with perfect timing right as you make contact with an enemy using your E. Your E will push the enemy a distance in the direction you casted your W towards. I've tried a few times. This is the best I could do with it, which is already pretty good, but I'm not a Camille one trick. But in this clip I got sent to me, this guy can do some pretty insane stuff with this combo.
What the fuck?
Now, if you didn't know this trick, I'd say you probably owe me a sub right about now. So head on down below the video and remember to subscribe.
I've never...
stuff that'll blow your mind.
That's crazy.
Just like I did in this one. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.
Actually, I'm surprised at how many of these I didn't know. He gets a like for this.